Hey guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives, back with my top 15 metal and hard rock albums of 2023. Actually, a couple weeks early this year, I thought, you know what? Not much happens in December for new releases anyways, and I knew I wasn't going to be picking up anything additional from 2023 releases, so I thought, let's get this done. Spent a little extra time on my holidays going through all these albums, listening to every one of them again, and made my list, which you'll see shortly. So overall, I thought personally 2023 was a bit stronger than 2022, at least for the bands I listen to and the stuff that I show on this channel. But with that said, looking ahead at 2024, I made a list here of albums that very well could come out. I would say 80% of this list will come out. These bands will release albums. 3 confirmed already on my list. I'll just review a few and let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to in 2024, and maybe some albums that are already confirmed that you can throw my way or recommend that I pick up. But anyway, Saxon, that will be the first one released this coming year, 2024. Bruce Dickinson, and of course Judas Priest. I'm absolutely looking forward to that one. You know what? I don't want to already say that's going to be my album of the year for 2024, because this list that I'm going to go over is super long, and there very well could be some real gems in here. Also on my list of most likely coming out, Testament, Death Angel, Accept. I wouldn't be surprised to see a new one from Sodom. Hoping for a new album from Ram. Anvil, pretty much a gimme that they will put out an album in 2024. Death Metalers, Asphyx, Swedish metal band Bullet. They haven't had a new album since 2018. Hoping they do. I should see a new one from Exodus, first one on Napalm Records. And I can pretty much guarantee a new Flotsam and Jetsam album in 2024. Absolutely love Flots. Great band. Halloween, I would say that could happen. Maybe early 2025, not sure. They move slow, but judging by the last album, it was awesome. Hoping for a new one from Herman Frank, former Accept guitarist. Armored Saint, that one could be a long shot, but I got it on my list. And I'm still predicting we will see an album from King Diamond and Merciful Fate all in 2024. Read that Possessed was working on a new one and that their target was 2024. Absolutely love 2019's Revelations of Oblivion. Todd La Torre, that one could be a long shot. Busy with Queensryche, don't know. Fingers crossed. Running Wild, a great band, a great German metal band. Should have a new one out in 2024. Read about Savatage working on a new album. Death Metalers from Poland, Vader. Really enjoying their past 5 albums have just been awesome. Maybe a new Wasp album. Maybe a lot of that would depend on Blackie's health and things like that. But there's my list. Let me know what else you're looking forward to. But so, as like last year, I just kind of scaled down my list to 15. I picked up probably, I don't know if I've already said it, just under 20 new releases this year. I went back and checked my past 4 or 5 years of my top lists, things like that. There's albums on there that I don't even own anymore. So I've been a little more selective in what I've been buying. I really want to get to know these albums, not just buy them for the sake of buying them. So, all right, without any further ado, as they say, let's push on with my list. Now, I would say my top 10, I don't know, all of these are, honestly, they're really solid. So, and coming in at number 15, and any of you Metallica fans, this is not a kick to the nuts. This is a good album that is growing on me. Actually, let's rephrase that. There's some really strong songs on here that I really enjoy. I'll mention them right away. But this is a grower. There is always going to be a place in my heart for Metallica. There's no doubt. By the way, this packaging on this CD, absolute shit. But they're Metallica. They pretty much can do what they want. But there is 3 tracks on this album that I really enjoy. And that is the title track, 72 Seasons, and Lux Eterna, which was the first single. You know what? I thought that's pretty cool. That is a real throwback to new wave of British heavy metal. And the other song is If Darkness Had a Sun. I really enjoy that one too. There's areas of this album that is tough to get through. It's kind of plods along, but I mean, honestly, Metallica has made long albums since the Black Album, so got to stop complaining about that. But I do find some stuff that I really do like from Metallica. And like I said, I mean, those, even right up to Load, I really enjoy those albums. They were a huge part of my youth. So for me to shit on these guys, nah, not gonna do it. But still growing on me. You never know. Might move up the list over time. I don't know. All right, moving on. Coming in at number 14, a death metal band, which I've talked about before. I wasn't a huge death metal guy back in the day. Kind of missed the boat on it, but this is only the second album I personally own from Cannibal Corpse. But coming in at number 14 is their 16th overall studio album, Chaos Horrific. Second with Eric Rutan on guitars. This cover, I like the cover, but man, it's dark. It's almost too dark. Doesn't even, however it looks to you on this camera is pretty much how it looks. But released on Metal Blade Records, and like I said, or haven't said, back in the day, I actually thought these guys were kind of a joke. But you know what? They are no joke. I enjoy them. I love the George Corpse Grinder era of vocals. I prefer that, but there's so much more for me to explore from this band, so I won't get too far ahead on that. But some great tracks on here. Actually, my favorite track is the last track called Drain You Empty. Starts off really nice, really heavy with Overlords of Violence. And then we had a few video or singles. We had with Bloodblind, Summon for Sacrifice. Just a great offering from Cannibal Corpse. Coming in at number 14. Number 13, and I have a mix of CDs and vinyl here too, which I still buy, even still picking up some cassettes. I'll show you a couple in my next update. But coming in at number 13 is the 8th studio album from Gamma Bomb called Bats. This is a band out of Ireland, or is it Northern Ireland? But yeah, just fun thrash, refreshing. They have their own style, very unique vocalist, very consistent too. They're past, I would say, 4 albums. Only a band that I've got into probably 4 years ago or so. But if you want something new in the thrash department that's a little not as predictable as some of the stuff that does come out, try this out. Gamma Bomb, their logo's way at the bottom here. Cool cover, but yeah, I really enjoy what I'm hearing from Gamma Bomb. Little bit on the comedic side with the lyrics, but just really fitting. Check out the tracks. Living Dead in Beverly Hills, great track. Favorite track on this album is called Circular Saw. Go check out some Gamma Bomb. So that one's coming in at number 13. Coming in at number 12, the 12th studio album from Dokken, and very well could be their last. One of my album, I don't know if this would be my album cover of the year. This would be top 1 or 2 maybe. But here is When Heaven Comes Down from Dokken. Only featured this one in an update of, I think, 1 or 2 updates ago, maybe my last update actually. But this one, long gap since their last album, but this one I had mentioned, the whole album is really suited for Don's aging voice. He does not have the range he used to have, but I think this album and the vocals just fit together great. The guitar work by John Levin is phenomenal. There's a cool picture of Don. But check out the track. Actually, my favorite track on this album is called Over the Mountain. Check out a couple more. I mean, the first single was really good. Fugitive, Like a Rose, that's another one of my favorites, and Saving Grace. So hopefully this isn't the last Dokken album. I mean, but Don is up into his 70s now, still touring, you know, making a living, things like that. Very well could be his last, and if it is, he definitely went out on a high note. Really enjoy this album. So that is number 12. Coming in at number 11 is a Japanese band that I really didn't know a lot about. I knew of them, but when I saw this come up for pre-order and being their second maybe album, sung fully in English, I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick this up. So this is, I don't know, I would say the 20th maybe album from Anthem. This is called Crimson and Jet Black. If you are a fan of loudness, which I am also, this is right up your alley. There are so many great Japanese acts. There's the band right there. So this is released on Reaper Entertainment. I highly recommend this one. I haven't picked up a lot of the newer Loudness albums. I'm still, with Loudness, I'm kind of stuck in the 80s. There's like a 3 or 4 album run there in the 80s that I absolutely love. But this one, yeah, a little bit of a surprise at how good it was. Didn't really fully know what to expect. But check out first track that they released was called Wheels of Fire, and then I think Snake Eyes came out. But my favorite track on here, go YouTube the song called Blood Brothers, and that will just sum up what these guys are. You know, I don't know if they refer them to as the Japanese Judas Priest, you know, whatever. I mean, their Anthem, fantastic. Love their logo. Check them out. Hope they continue releasing albums in English. Not that there's anything wrong with their Japanese albums, which I will pick up some of those too. All right, moving on. Number 10. You know what? A band that I was going to hope continued, and when this got announced, I was, yes, they're moving on. Hard to move on without their, I mean, they haven't had a lot of luck on vocalists. 2 of them have passed away, David Wayne and Mike Howe, which we've given away. My number 10. This is the 13th studio album from Metal Church, featuring new vocalist Mark Lopes. Now, the only critique I had on this album in the beginning, there is some, about 3 songs on here where Mark really pushes the vocals. He actually almost overdoes it. Another Judgment Day, the leadoff track, would be one of those. If he just dialed it back a little bit, which he does on some of these songs, perfect. Favorite tracks on this album? Actually, favorite track on this album is called Me the Nothing. Children of the Lie, awesome track. And Pick a God and Pray. So this is Congregation of Annihilation from Metal Church, my number 10 of 2023. Moving on, number 9. Very consistent band, 14th studio album from Germany's own Primal Fear. And this is the one with an eagle on the cover. Yeah, inside joke there. Which one doesn't have an eagle on the cover? But this is Code Red. I think this was released middle of the year, late summer. Can't quite remember. I think September, actually. But yeah, 14th studio album from Primal Fear. Matt Sinner had some health issues, some battles, which I think he is, slowly getting better. Best wishes to you, Matt Sinner. But yeah, another solid effort from Primal Fear. Yes, there will be those bands where I'll tell you, you kind of know what you're getting with these guys, and you do. But man, this one to me is a step up from Metal Commando from 2020. But yeah, this one, I think the only thing I said is I would have started this album off a little bit differently. I would have put the World Is on Fire. That was a perfect opening. It's kind of like got a little bit of an intro, like Hellion, Electric Eye type of atmosphere. But anyways, they started the album off with Another Hero, which was the first single. Awesome. Few other favorite tracks on this album are, actually, it really gets heavy there near the end too. Raged by Pain. Like I mentioned earlier, The World Is on Fire. Great track. And then it ends up with kind of a typical Primal Fear last track called Fearless. And of course, they have their standard one ballad on each album. So yeah, so coming in at number 9, Primal Fear's 14th album. Grab a quick drink and we'll continue. Coming in at number 8, an artist, a band that I've been following since 1987. Recently picked up some reissues too. I will show you those in my next update. But coming in at number 8 is the 18th studio album from UDO. If you know me, you know I love anything that Udo Dirksnyder does. And this is kind of cool too that Peter Baltes, former Accept member, original member, has joined his mate as a full-time bass player of UDO now. This is Touchdown. Yeah, the cover, I said the cover's kind of corny, but this album is a real step up from 2021's Game Over, in my opinion. Some key tracks on here. The title track, as corny as some of those lyrics are, it is speedy. It's in the fast as a shark type of vein category, whatever you want to say. A few other great tracks to check out. Fight for the Right. Where is that? Better Start to Run. What a great track that is. Track 6, Punchline, on here. Yeah, read the lyrics to that. That is definitely an ode to Wolf Hoffman. I think a few of those guys don't get along that well. It's too bad because I would love to see an original, a reunion of the original Accept members. Love those guys. Looking forward to, still love those guys. Definitely looking forward to something from Accept in 2024. But anyways, there is my number 8 UDO from, their 18th studio album. Really enjoy that one. Number 7. Now this is a band that actually just keeps getting better. They started off fantastic. They had a few mediocre albums in the middle. Second album to feature new drummer Mike Hiller, and that is Raven's 15th studio album, and my number 7, All Hell's Breaking Loose. This one is even a step up from their last album from, 2020, Metal City. Yeah, Mike definitely provides some fantastic drumming and really helps these guys keep their, in that speed metal category. John Gallagher's vocals, they're high-pitched, fun. I don't know. These are just a fun band to listen to. Always love these guys. We'll continue to pick up anything they put out. But favorite track on this album, if you only check out one, is called The Far Side. Here's the back cover. Also, yeah, what was I going to tell you? The first single, what was that? Go for Gold, the last track. I was like a little worried after I heard it. I'm like, man, this is just kind of just standard, mediocre Raven. But then the rest of it, I don't know why they chose that song, but whatever. There's other cool tracks on here. Surf the Tsunami and Desperate Measures, another great track. But yeah, go check out The Far Side. Wicked track. Great guitar riffs from Mark. And yeah, vocals and the bass playing on here. It's just like having an almost like, I wouldn't say it's compared to Motorhead, but the bass in this band, only being a three-piece, is super important, just like it was in Motorhead. It's almost like having another guitar player. But yeah, go check out the new one from Raven, All Hell's Breaking Loose. My number 7. My number 6 is a death metal band that I absolutely, this is, I think I can safely say my favorite active death metal band. I mean, I still love Death and anything that Chuck put out. But this is the 11th studio album from Raven, and my number's Raven. The 11th studio album from Obituary, and my number 6. This is Dying of Everything. And that, you know what, that first single, The Wrong Time, when it is so groovy, and that opening riff, man, I don't give a shit what anybody says. That is so infectious. I played that song, I shit you not, I probably played it 30 times in a row when that guitar just kicks in, and that kind of that double thundering drums to start it off. I'm like, yes, this is pretty cool. But yeah, that's not where this album stops. The lead off track, Barely Alive, great song. The last track is slow moving, heavy, called Be Warned, and a couple other great tracks. Actually, the title track, Dying of Everything, is awesome, and By the Dawn. So there is, what did I say, the 11th studio album from Obituary. They take a long time in between releases, but actually these past 3 or 4, they have not disappointed. Right back to even 2017's, their self-titled album. There's some killer tracks on that one too, but I think this one might be a bit better. Raven, sorry, why do I keep saying Raven? It doesn't matter. Anyways, Obituary is a band that I will do a ranking at some point. I do own all their albums, but there is my number 6. Coming in at number 5, actually in this band's second album. And their first album came in a little bit higher in 2021. Anyways, I'm talking about KK's Priest, The Sinner Rides Again, coming in at number 5. Second album from KK Downing and crew. Ripper Owens on vocals. Me personally, I know there's been people that said this one isn't as good as the first one, but I beg to differ on that one. I think the production on this is really stepped up. The drum sound and bass sound is less hollow sounding, and really good on the production. But yeah, you know what, as far as the cliches and return to the roots of Priest with song titles like Son of the Sentinel, One More Shot at Glory, The Sinner Rides Again as a title, yeah, I know that's a little bit, you know, maybe in the cheesy side of things, but you know what, KK Downing was a founding member of Judas Priest, and you know what, he just wants to reinforce that, I guess. But I really enjoy this album, and like I said, I think it's actually stronger. Ripper's performance on here is top notch. Man, his voice has aged really well. Some of my favorite tracks, actually, Strike of the Viper, awesome. Reap the Whirlwind, I think those were both singles. Near the end, it drops off a little bit for me. Pledge Your Soul and Wash Away Your Sins, not bad. The title track is really awesome. The Sinner Rides Again. There's almost that Sad Wings of Destiny vibe in the start of that song. Really cool. And another good one is Hymn 6:6. But there is my number 5 of 2023, KK's Priest, The Sinner Rides Again. All right, we are into the top 4. Now, this is a band that even 2 years ago I would say, are you kidding me? I would never listen to that. And so what? I had stopped being closed-minded and Their previous album, Death Atlas, really opened up my mind to this band. So coming in at number 4 is the 8th studio album from Cattle Decapitation called Terracite. This is a cool cover too. This would be up there for my favorite album covers of the year. You know, death metal, a little bit of grindcore in there. This would be probably this may be the most extreme music that I personally listen to. So, but feel free to throw down some other suggestions. I've seen a lot of lists already, and there's some pretty cool albums that I've missed out. But yeah, throw them down in the comments for me. But anyways, yeah, number 4. This album is just Relentless. Is it better than Death Atlas? I don't know. This is a band that has over their half of their discography, well, about half. There's only 4 of these albums that I do own, and that's their last 4. That's when they really, where Travis Ryan, the vocalist, got into, even the first time I listened to Death Atlas, I'm like, how many vocalists are in this band? It feels like there's 4 different guys, but it's just one guy doing all these, even black metal shrieks, death metal cleans, what they call kind of the goblin style, but so fitting. Yeah, check out, what was it? Weed Are Young. I think that was the first single. Great track. Soul Nostalgia, love that track. There's just so much. Aphobic Doom, so heavy. Dead End Residence. There's not a weak track on here. I'll be honest with you. The Storm Upstairs, the long, cool closing track, Just Another Body. But there is my number 4, obviously, of 2023, Cattle Decapitation. And I said earlier on in my video that there was one surprise here, and this one, I really enjoy this album. It has one of my earworm songs of the year too, and I'll mention that too. But this is, well, coming in at number 3 is the 7th studio album from Winger. First in 7 years, I think. But what an album. This is one I go back to often. Hard rock, glam metal, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Yeah, and a bit of a surprise at how much I like this. When I first, what did I hear first? Proud Desperado came on. They had a video for that, and I'm like, man, this is really good. But my favorite track on this album, and probably what this album should have been called, is It All Comes Back Around. That is one of my favorite songs of the year, period. I love that track. And another, let's name 2 more favorites. Resurrect Me, such a great track. Check that one out. And Tears of Blood. There's a video for that one too. So there's my number 3, 7th overall studio album from Winger. I hope they have 1 or 2 more albums in them, and maybe a little closer together would be cool. So we're down to the last 2, and this will be the 3rd time that this has happened. This band, which I absolutely love, my favorite thrash band of all times, is going to fall a little short. And as soon as I announce this one, you'll pretty much put it together of what my number 1 is. But in 2017, this Overkill fell short to Creator. And then in 2019, they fell short to Possessed. And this year they're going to fall short to the next band I'll show you. But anyways, I'll stop the drama. Here is my number 2 overall, the 20th studio album from Overkill called Scorched. Just a band that never disappoint me. And like I said, they're my favorite thrash band, so they get a little leeway here and there. But you know what? They came out with another album with still some twists and turns that I thought, man, that is cool, especially on a track like Fever. They have not done something that in many, many years. What was the lead off? The Surgeon. What a great track. And the production on this is not predictable. It is not thrash, typical 101 thrash production. actually, even from the start of the drums on, the Surgeon, yeah, very, yeah, analog sounding, put it that way. Other favorite tracks, Twist of the Wick, definitely. Going Home, great track. And like I said before, Fever, what a great track that is. Another Travis Smith artwork cover. And this cover, at first I was like, I was a little lukewarm on the cover, but it's grown on me. Overkill should be back on track now with all the, the COVID bullshit behind, but they'll be on track for a new album every 2 years. Already looking forward to their 21st studio album. So there's my number 2 of the year, leaving only one left. And honestly, this one, I think it's held number 1 position for me. Definitely my most spun album of the year. You know what's coming, another green cover. 3rd overall studio album from Scotland's own Hellripper, James McBain. This is Withered Hags and, Warlocks, Grim and Withered Hags. 3rd studio album from Hellripper, and just a masterpiece in my opinion. I think that extra probably about a year really helped James focus on every aspect of his songwriting, because it shows. There is not a moment of weakness on this album. Opening track and first video, or whatever lyrical video, was the Knuckle V. Awesome. If you don't know this band and you want to check out one track, go check out the title track, Warlocks, Grim and Withered Hags. It literally has everything. Strong vocals, great riffs. The soloing on this album it's next level. I just cannot praise it enough. One of my favorite tracks on here is called The Cursed Carrion Crown. There is probably about 2 minutes and 40 seconds into this song, there is just a straight Merciful Fate throwback guitar riff, and then into the next section. Awesome. I the Deceiver, Let the Dagger Rule the Way, or Show the Way. Oh man, what a great track that is. Right into almost some black metal-ish on the last track, Mester Store Worm. What else? Was it Goat Vomit Nightmare? You know what? There's some early Metallica vibes on here. There is some Rust in Peace era Megadeth kind of metallic sounding guitar riffs on here. Some Motorhead, like I said before, some Merciful Fate. But this is the best thing James has come out with so far. All 3 albums are fantastic. If you've not checked out Hellripper, I highly recommend picking this one up, or maybe this is the one you start with. But I'm already looking forward to the next album. I hope it's, we would be lucky to see it in 2025, but hopefully 2026. Long career ahead of this young man. He's a genius. Absolute genius. And like I said, I can't praise Hellripper enough. There is my number 1 of 2023. Hope you enjoyed the list. There's a few that I did pick up that didn't make the list. Some were, late additions to the collection, still kind of absorbing some of those. But I just thought we'll just do a top 15 of my most spun records of 2023. Let me know in the comments some things that I've missed. Let me know some of your favorite albums of 2023. Hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, stay heavy.